Playoff football is finally here. I've been saying all season long, the Texans are a playoff team. I don't care how they do it, they will get into the playoffs. And I don't care what they did in the regular season. To me, this season, what counts is what happens in the playoffs. I don't care about the regular season. I don't care, they beat the Patriots. They lost to the Panthers. They lost to the Broncos. I don't care about any of that. The Texans are here. All that matters is the playoffs because that's the type of team the Texans are now. Regular season, cool. It's fun to watch, whatever. Who cares? We're in the playoffs. We're a playoff team. We're in the playoffs pretty much every year. And every single year, we get bounced out in the first or second round. So, we already know we're going to make the playoffs. We're going to make the playoffs next year. And the year after that. And the year after that. That's cool. Don't get me wrong. But at some point, we got to start doing something in the playoffs. And, hopefully it's this year because, like I said, regular season, to me, and honestly, to every Texans fan, regular season shouldn't really mean much anymore. We're in the playoffs every year. We know we're going to make the playoffs every year. It's time we start doing things in the playoffs, So, just wanted to get that out of the way. So let's start getting into our matchup versus the Bills. So, Texans play the Bills. Texans are the 4th seed. The Bills are the 5th seed. Both teams are coming in with 10-6 records. And, if we're being realistic, if the Bills and Texans both started their starters last week, week 17, they both would have been 11-5. So, just throwing that out there. Anyways, the Bills, they're a defensive team. They're a run-first team. The Bills, they have a lot of talent, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They got, Poyer, Micah Hyde, and you guys know this guy, Ed Oliver. I know a lot of Texans fans wanted Ed Oliver. Well, he ended up in Buffalo. And, my personal favorite Bills player, Tre'Davious White, lockdown corner, extremely underrated, very good player, extremely underrated, really like him. Now, I do have something to complain about. You guys know me. I love to complain. The Texans and Bills game is the early Saturday game. Now, look, the Texans, they've been to the playoffs 6 times. All 6 times they've played in the early Saturday game. Okay, now look. Texans versus Bengals those first 2 years, fine. Nobody wants to watch the Bengals. Texans versus Chiefs, fine. Nobody wants to watch Alex Smith and Brian Hoyer go at it. The year after that, Texans versus Raiders, fine. Nobody wants to watch the Raiders' third-string quarterback. The year after that, last year, Texans versus Colts, fine. Nobody wants to watch an extremely crippled team, the Texans, versus a run-heavy team, the Colts. Nobody wanted to watch that. But this year, Watson versus that defense, a game that's going to be a hard-fought defensive battle. You're telling me that the Eagles and Seahawks game is going to be better than the Bills and Texans game? You're telling me that New England beating Tennessee by 40 points is going to be better than Buffalo and Houston? Come on, man. That is complete BS in my opinion. I think, at the very least, it should have been Saturday night game. But, whatever. I don't care. But let's just get into these matchups. Let's start off with the Bills offense versus the Texans defense, starting with the run game. The Bills, they look to run the ball first. They run the ball. That's what they do. And they're pretty good at it. The Bills are a run-first team. I said it at the start of the video. And they're pretty good at it. Devin Singletary, Frank Gore, future Hall of Famer. The dude just does not go away. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer. A lot of people don't think Frank Gore is gonna be a Hall of Famer, but I mean, look at the stats, man. The dude's for sure in a Hall of Famer. And even Josh Allen, their quarterback, gets in on some of the action in the run game, whether it's designed quarterback runs or him just simply scrambling. But the Bills, their run game pretty much goes through three people: Singletary, Gore, and Allen. Now, the Texans, they're typically pretty good at stopping the run. Plus, they get J.J. Watt back, so that will provide an extra boost in stopping the run. But, there is times where the Texans' run defense does get a little leaky. For example, they'll be shutting down the run, then out of nowhere, the next drive, the running backs start, getting nice little 8-yard gains, 10-yard gains, every now and then. And, it gets annoying. It does get leaky, but I expect the Texans to key in on stopping the Bills' run game because that's what the Bills do. That's their go-to thing. They lean on their defense and run game. So I feel like the Texans will key in on that and try to shut down the Bills' run game. And, the Texans, not only will they be getting J.J. Watt back, they'll be getting Benardrick McKinney back. McKinney has missed the past 2 games. He would have been back against Tennessee, but they sat him out because it was a meaningless game. And he also missed the Week 16 game against Tampa. McKinney is our run thumper. Zach Cunningham, he does it all. He can cover pretty well. He stops the run. He's sideline to sideline player. McKinney, he's the guy that shoots the gaps and stops the run. So McKinney, him being back for this game is very important. So that's a huge boost. And then I guess if you want to count DJ Reader sitting out last week's game, we do get DJ Reader back this week as well. And, Roby. So the Texans, they're pretty healthy defensively. So I do expect them to do a pretty good job stopping the Bills' run game. And, like I said, I do expect the Bills to get nice little gains here and there. But for the most part, I do see the Texans keying in on the Bills' run game and stopping it. Now let's move on to the pass game. The Bills, honestly, they have a pretty meh passing game. I think the real danger with the Bills in passing situation comes in the Josh Allen scrambles. So it'll be up to the Texans defense in front to provide pressure and keep Josh Allen from scrambling. Overall though, I just don't see Josh Allen having that much success through the air. I really do think that Justin Reed, Tashawn Gibson, Roby, Conley, and Hargraves will do a pretty good job stopping the Bills' passing attack. Like I said, it'll be up to the Texans' defense in front to get to Allen, bring him down, because it doesn't matter how good your secondary is if they have to cover for 20 seconds, So front seven's going to have to get to Josh Allen if the Texans want to win this game. But let's flip over to the other side, Texans offense versus the Bills defense, starting off with the run game. The Texans, they have one of the most frustrating, inconsistent run games in the NFL. 1 week, it's good. They're running all over a team. And then the next week, it's just completely gone, reduced to atoms. And, it's just so frustrating, man. Since the bye week, the Texans haven't really been able to run the ball that well. I believe the only good games that they had running the ball was against Tennessee, and Tennessee doesn't really count because they suck. So yeah, and the Bills are pretty decent at stopping the run. So honestly, I see the Texans struggling to get a run game going in this one. Pretty much how it's been this whole second half of the season. I don't see them getting a run game going, especially if the Bills start keying in on it. Yeah, I just do not see it. Now let's move on to the passing game. The Bills, like I said, they have a very good pass defense. And let's be honest here. Deshaun Watson has not been playing well lately. And then you got the whole Will Fuller being out thing. Honestly, I just see the Texans struggling to pass the ball. The only way the Texans will have success passing the ball is if Deshaun Watson gets out of this funk that he's in. Because let's be real, he's in a little slump right now. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's an injury. I don't know if he's, distracted by that Instagram girl he has. I don't know what it is, but Deshaun has to snap out of it. And let me just say this. This game is going to be a very ugly game. Ugly game. If you want fireworks, if you're one of those people that loves, shootouts, games that, 31 to 34 games, this game ain't for you. This is going to be an ugly defensive game with little to no offense. This is the type of game it's going to be. Now, the keys to the game if the Texans want to win. Number 1, wake up, Deshaun Watson. Wake up. I mean, this whole second half of the season, Deshaun's been bad. I'll be real. He's been bad. He went up to Baltimore and, tried to play hero ball and outduel Lamar Jackson, and, he got embarrassed. And then against Indy, he had a decent game, nothing too special. He had a great game against New England on Sunday Night Football, but then he followed it up with a terrible game against Denver, and then he had a game against Tennessee, and then a terrible game against Tampa, and then didn't play against Tennessee Week 17. So Deshaun Watson has been in a funk. I don't know what it is, but he has to wake up. He has to, because without Watson, this team ain't nothing. Now the next key. Stop the run. The Texans have to be able to stop the run against the Bills. Because this Bills team, they don't care. They'll just run the ball right down your throat if they can, if you let them. So the Texans have to key in on stopping the run, and they have to make Josh Allen beat them through the air, which kind of leads in to key number 3, which is don't let Josh Allen scramble. Because, Josh Allen, he might be 6'9", 230 pounds, but the guy can run. He can scramble. He's a scrambling quarterback, one might even say. So the Texans have to keep contained, keep him in the pocket, get pressure, make him actually beat you with his arm. Now for my predictions for the game. I am going 17-13. Texans win. That's right. I think the Texans will get it done at home. I think they get a win here in Wild Card Weekend. Like I said, I think this game is going to be ugly. Very, very ugly, frustrating game. A game that'll make you want to pull your hair out in frustration. A game that's going to have you angrily tweeting stuff out. I know I'm going to be, angry on Twitter, tweeting stuff out, because it's what I do. And at the end of it all, it just comes down to this, in my opinion. I trust Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins way more than I trust Josh Allen to make enough plays to win, if that makes sense. I think Deshaun and DeAndre will put this team on their back, and they'll find a way to win this game. I think Deshaun gets his first postseason win. And yeah, those are my predictions for this Texans wildcard weekend game. Comment down below your own predictions. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.